These are my super tasty corn fritters, and what makes them extra special is I'm going to stack them up with lots of bacon. Now for the corn fritters, you'll need 3/4 cup of self-raising flour. I like to use self-raising flour so we get a little lift with the corn fritters. So this is just a 1/4 cup measure, and we'll just add 3 of these to a bowl. Now my corn fritters are very basic. I don't add too many different flavours because it's really all about the corn, maybe a little bit of cheese and spring onions, but that's it. So for the rest of the batter, I'm going to add 1 egg. I'll just make a well in the centre. And we'll add some milk, so just some regular milk, about 2 tablespoons, and a good pinch of salt. We'll start to whisk that together, and just like you are making a pancake batter, you want to bring in the sides just so we don't get too many lumps. Now this batter should be quite thick because we are going to be adding the corn and the cheese, so there's a bit of moisture in both of those. Okay, so look at that. That's the consistency that we're after. I'll just remove this whisk and then we can incorporate our spring onions. So just 2 spring onions. I'll just finely chop them. We only want the light and white part of the spring onions, and I like them to be quite fine. And this is totally optional. You could also add some chives to this too if you like. Okay, pop them in. And in with the corn kernels. You could absolutely use fresh if you like. I've always got some frozen corn kernels in my freezer. So what I've done here is just defrosted them, and I've pat them dry with some paper towel. And a big handful of cheddar cheese. Now I'll just use a spoon just to fold everything together. And you can see that batter is almost acting like the glue. This is really all about that corn, so you just need enough to really stick it together. Okay, really happy with that. Let's start cooking our corn fritters. In a large pan, we'll just place the heat on a medium heat. I like to use just some olive oil, a good glug of olive oil in the pan. And you can make these as large or as small as you like. I'm going to use this large spoon, so it's about 2 tablespoons worth of the corn fritter mixture. And then we'll just place that in and just press them down so they make little patties. I'll make a few more of these. And be sure not to overcrowd the pan, just so it's easier to flip these later on. And I could probably fit 1 more in there. And while our corn fritters are cooking, we can get on to our bacon. Now I'm using this pan-sized double smoked bacon. It's smoked with Australian hardwood, so you've got that lovely smoky flavour to it. And for this, I want a good couple of rashers, so about 4 or 5 rashers into the pan. Like always, whenever I'm cooking my bacon, I don't warm the pan up to start with. And I'll turn the heat on just to a medium heat and slowly bring up the heat so we get lovely crispy bacon. Okay, this crispy bacon is cooked. It smells so good. Now let's start stacking up. So we'll start with the largest fritter. Look how plump they are, so good. And on top of this, we'll add a few rashers of bacon. And I like this bacon because it's super thin too, so it's a little bit pliable, so easy to manage. Next, another one of our fritters goes on top, and I'm going to add 1 more of the fritter so I can place the rest of the bacon on the top, just like that. Ooh. It's one of those breakfasts you really need to be hungry for. How great does that look? A few little extras that I like to serve with my corn fritters, some avocado. So we'll just cut just a wedge of avocado. Look at that, perfectly ripe. Place that on the side. I also love the addition of some sour cream, so a generous dollop of that can go on the side. And finally, a little garnish of coriander. I love the flavour of coriander with that sweet corn and that salty bacon. We'll just pop that on the side over here. And this is certainly a brunch, so you won't need lunch at all. It's filling, it's robust, and it's got all those yummy flavours that we associate with weekend brunching. Enjoy.